Acha, recently, till recent also, my mom is like, go and find a job for yourself. So not recent, as in a few years back. So the way I put up my calligraphic paintings is there is a story behind it. There's a journey behind it, and I think when you look at that painting, that is what my mentor and or that is what people around me say, that we can see the journey in the layers. It's not me, but they say it. And when you listen to that, when you hear that, you feel it, you feel so nice that moment of time ki, oh yeah, people do like it. I always wanted to be a dancer.
Really? Oh, okay.
But I don't know, I never I had two options,
Okay.
either you can be a dancer or you can be a artist.
Okay.
So I chose the latter. Yeah.
Welcome to How Did You, a podcast series where we explore the journey of creative minds from all walks of life. Today I have a guest with me whose love, life, passion, and profession reflects calligraphy. Akshay Thompre, welcome to How Did You.
Hello, welcome.
How are you?
I am good. And very, very good actually. Whenever I'm in Kochi, I'm absolutely good.
That's lovely. So you keep visiting Kochi for your workshops and
No, I actually visit Kochi once a year
Okay.
since last year. So last year was also fun. I came here for Kachata Thapa, your ICFK exhibition
yes.
and workshops. So this year also the same. So I'm always very happy and glad that Narayan sir calls me.
That's lovely.
And yeah, I always look forward to come to Kochi every year. So yeah.
It's nice to hear that. So, our show is about how did you become who you are today. So, Akshaya, you have relatively new in this field, but you're not. You have had a decade of experience. When you say about your, mentors, but how did you become a calligrapher? What is your journey of this craft?
Oh, that is it's like, say, a very good question, but a big question
Big
for a
question.
start. But yeah, so actually, I always wanted to, learn something related to letters. Since school time, I was very interested in writing letters, as in, crafting them with pens, lettering on the books, on the back of the books, because the teachers won't allow, So I always was interested, but I don't know. I didn't know then where you can go and learn, how you can learn it, from whom do you learn it. But eventually, one fine day, I found out that I can learn this place, go and learn this place. So like, yeah, let's go. I went there. I learned a script called Basic Roman Letters, and there is where it kicked in. Okay, no, you need to learn this more. And so yeah, the first year in art college, that's a foundation course. It was I think it was the first step towards calligraphy, when I got to know that calligraphy, there are a lot of things that can be done in calligraphy, a vast thing. And yeah, I kept looking up to people like Achyut sir, Narayan sir, who did a lot of things in calligraphy, who learned in a very different manner, and but did what they are today. So I always wanted to do something, in calligraphy. I didn't know how to go forward with it. But yeah, I always wanted to, there was a lot of things which came in between. But I was very adamant that I am supposed to do this and I'm going to do this. So yeah, that is basically how I got to know calligraphy better.
That's wonderful. So when you were starting your journey, say you're like you learned arts, right? So how was the family support back then? Like, did you have any artists in the family who understood what you wanted to do, or
No.
no?
There were no artists in my family who knew what to do or what not to do. So there was no guidance, When you have nobody in the family who is from the field, there's fair amount of um, reluctance towards it. What further? What next? What is going to happen? What are you going to do? How are you going to earn with just drawing things? So these things come to place. It's not just your parents, but the relatives around you, people around you, even your neighbors for that matter. So like in Mumbai, we are very close. We live close by, So everybody knows what's cooking in the other house. So so we are quite we're always that. Ki, what are you going to do next? What is how is it going to help? How are you going to earn with this? So this is the first question that pops up, and I think now people are knowing it better that you can, yeah, or you can do better, and so on. Yeah. So that's how it is. People did not first accept it as easily as they should, but of course it's a different field. It's a new genre for them as well. So yeah, it was quite difficult back then as well. To make people understand whether acha, recently, till recent also, my mom is like, go and find a job for yourself. So not recent, as in a few years back. So that happens to everyone and every family, but
Right.
yeah, so that's how it is.
So you're also a teacher, like you have students. So what are your specializations and how?
So as you know, I teach Fructur and Gothic styles. Like Gothic styles, as in we call them Gothic because they are from the medieval era and they relate or they are somewhat close to the Gothic architecture. Basically, there is no script called Gothic as such, but yeah. So these letterings, these scripts, I like them. I love them.
Is there any
I put
specific
my
reason for that?
no, there's no any specific reason as such, but I am just fond of those letters. I am fond of all the letters actually, but these caught my eyes, these caught my soul. So I stuck with them and I continued with them. I spoke to few international artists, got to know more about these scripts, and did my first solo exhibition in 2017. I started using these letters to create paintings from where I had people to guide me. So I love these letters. I love these letters like anything, and I want people to understand that where these letters come from. Everything has a history. Everything has its value, you know. And I want people to understand that this is how it is. This is the value of these things, and that is the reason I opt for teaching. And when I opt for teaching, I have good examples as teachers. Uh, so when I was in school, I was a very an average student. I'm not a dull student, but I'm a very average student who always loved to, go around dancing all over the school. But we had a history teacher. Okay, and I did not like history. We had a history teacher who came in the class and who was a very bindhast kind of a, do you understand?
Yeah, I get it.
Very, very
Yes, yes,
bindhast kind
yes.
of a teacher, and she used to stand like that in the class, and like Amitabh Bachchan, like she used to come and stand like that, and she used to come and ask us, "Ki, आज क्या करें?" Like I don't know history, do whatever. But that woman taught us so well. She put up pointers on the board and she told us stories about the pointers. I'm not a good storyteller, but believe me, I love listening to stories. I love reading stories. So I might not read documentaries and informations and stuff like that, but if there is a novel and a good mystery, oh my, I'm in. So that's how it was, She used to put up pointers and she used to give a story about every single point of very brief background stories, and it made people interested, and it was quite fun at that moment, and that is how my love for history developed, and I think that is how it is, that is a good teacher, yeah. So that is an inspiration for me, so I love teaching also. As much as I love my letters, I love teaching too. And I want to reach out to people. I want to make sure that people know that calligraphy is something. These are also the letters in calligraphy, and you can reach out. It's that you can do things in calligraphy. It's not just learning them and leaving them out, but you can also move them forward. You can create a design out of it. You can find letter forms. You can find find forms from the letters. You can place them in multiple different ways. You can
Endless
form,
possibilities.
yeah. So I want people to know that, and that is what I learned in my journey of calligraphy and from calligraphy to paintings. So the way I put up my calligraphic paintings is there is a story behind it, there's a journey behind it. And I think when you look at that painting, that is what my mentor and or that is what people around me say, that we can see the journey in the layers. It's not me, but they say it. And when you listen to that, when you hear that, you feel it, you feel so nice that moment of time ki, oh yeah, people do like it. So I want this thing, everyone to know that there are just not letters, but they are more than letters, and that is the reason I teach.
Okay. So, what are your specializations? What are the workshops and classes there?
So I do basic chancery calligraphy.
What is that?
Basic letters, the way actually we write, but with a broad edge nib, with a cut nib of hold your pens in 45-degree angle and then you write. So that is a basic writing you do. So for me, broad edge basic, that is the chancery. Then I do italic, I do uncial, I do fructor, I do textura, and
There's a lot of new terminology for someone who has no idea about calligraphy,
these
but
are
it's
basically
really
script.
interesting to hear that though.
So these are basically scripts, which
Okay. So, what is that thing that Naran sir also mentioned that I have to ask you about black lettering? What is
black
that?
letters.
Yes.
So black letters is actually a mother term for different scripts.
Okay.
So there are four main scripts. That is the four foundational scripts, or you can say four main core scripts. That is textura, rotunda, batade, and fructor. So these four scripts, and these have subscripts like semi-texturus, quadrata, and so on. There are subscripts to these. There are scripts in between also, which were scrap scripts as well. Scrap script are those scripts which were scrapped eventually and were written in such a manner that they looked like scrap, couldn't read them. Couldn't read them well. So legibility was not good, but looked good. So those are called scrap scripts. So there were a lot of different scrap scripts in the between. There were a lot of semi scripts in the between, and these scripts all together are called black letters. Okay. So nowadays, what happens is fructor. People don't know how exactly fructor looks, but fructor looks beautiful. All right. We do not have an exact formation of fructor. So what happens is people write it in their own manner, like a little stylized, a little different. So those variations also come into black letters.
Okay.
So other than naming everyone differently, we call them black letters.
All right. That's nice to know that. So, so you don't win anything without losing anything. So, what do you do when you are you are at that standstill of your life and you're faced by challenges, when you feel that you have hit your rock bottom? How do you face those challenges? And as an artist, also you're also now a teacher, so you have to balance your,
Yeah. So if you ask me how do you face the rock bottoms, I think acceptance is the thing, If you accept it, you'll face it. It's super easy. Can't say super easy, but yeah, it is easy. If you accept it, it is pretty easy, believe me. If you accept it, okay, this is how it is supposed to be, okay, there will be a next time, there always is. Accept, have fun today, enjoy the time that you've done today. If you are at the rock bottom, this time also will go away, there will be next time. There are going to be multiple next times. But, being in that situation strengthens you. If you accept it, it does strengthen you. If you crib about it, if you cry about it, or you keep continuing it, it will just be it'll pull you back, And that is what I believe. This is all my beliefs. Everybody can deal it in a different manner, but for me, it has been like that. Whenever I've been in a spot or in a fix, I have always thought, this time will also pass by, There's nothing, nothing is permanent. Change is inevitable. So I think we cannot stick to it Other than sticking to it, accept it and move a step forward. And that'll help you. And that helps me all the time.
So, if you were not a calligrapher, what else would you?
I always wanted to be a dancer.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I never. I had two options, Either you can be a dancer or you can be a artist.
Okay.
So I chose that. I chose the latter. Yeah.
You didn't want to do any 9 to 5 jobs in your life. Like,
Never. I
you're
tried.
clear about that.
Oh no, I tried, and I wasn't clear at the first. I tried multiple times, but then it did not
Didn't
work
work.
out for me.
But that's nice, you know?
Yeah, I would love to try again if I get the chance, but I am reluctant now a bit. That time I was pretty open to do 9 to 5 jobs. Like, let's try, let's give it a try. जाके तो देखते हैं ना, करके तो देखते हैं ना. That is how I was. So I did try multiple times, but no, it did not work for me.
Right. So, so our session is about how did you. So, if I have to ask you, how did you become who you are? You can either say this in one word or 1, 2, 3, any type, any number of words. It's your choice. So, how did you do this?
That's a question. I did it. I think, as we spoke about faith, I think it's faith that I did it with. I never look. I don't have. I don't have any compulsions. Ki you have to reach there. I am ambitious. I'm courageous. I am always looking forward to things, and I'm always looking forward to do new things. But आई डोंट हैव अ रूल कि बस यही करना है या यहीं पहुंचना है या इतना ही कमाना है या इतना ही खर्च करना है या इतना ही आई गो विद द फ्लो एंड this faith which keeps you going कि yeah, someday you'll reach there, not today, not tomorrow, someday when the time will come you will. And I think that keeps me going and keeps me going in the pace that I go in. I think going too fast, charging in is not the answer. So going slow, having faith in what you do, enjoy it, have fun with it, absolutely get into it, get lost into what you do. And I think you don't have to worry about how will you do it or what will you do next. So I think that is how I did it.
Yeah. So in all the conversations I was having with the artists the other days, one thing that I've commonly seen in all of you, including you, is that the art of letting go is one idea that art of letting go as in like having no control or like the urge to control things. And they also mentioned that calligraphy or art is a meditative process.
Absolutely. I totally get it. And letting go, if you say letting go, I am very easy at letting go. I do not face problems to let go things. By the grace of God, I am quite blessed with it. I am not afraid to let go things. And then the question of yours was meditation. So yes, calligraphy is super meditative. So I'll tell you one thing. This is how I explain my kids, my students. So when you write a letter, you breathe in, and then you pull a line down. Like you start from the top, you come down, you breathe out. So you breathe in, and then you put your pen on the paper, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. So, you write, you concentrate on your breathing. And when you concentrate on your breathing or your exhalation, your lines are straight. And that is how I explain to my kids that this is how you're supposed to write. What happens with that is your breathing exercise is done, your calligraphy straight lines are done, and your meditation is done.
Yeah.
So it is
Why
quite
not do that?
Yeah, no, it's quite a meditative process. So whenever I have a habit, if I am in stress, I go washing utensils or cooking food, or sometimes I also go do something else. But other than that, if I have the time. If I don't see at those things, कि यार खाना बनाना है, if I don't look at it, I go and paint or I go and write letters. That helps me soothe out, and that helps me gather myself again. Okay. Other than all of this, I pray. But other than that, I write whatever. Scribble it, write with a ball pen, write with a sketch pen, write with a calligraphy pen, write with anything, I write. And it helps me out. It helps me feel ease. You know, we all have a times in sometimes in our lives where we are stressed, we are frustrated, we are irritated. But if you can channel that, if you can channel your stress, if you can channel your sadness, and you can create something beautiful out of it, why not? So that is how I think it helps.
So, have your work ever taken you to places that you never expected to be? Like, be it geographically or even your experiences per se, yeah.
So when I started doing calligraphy, I never thought I would ever work on larger scales, or I never thought about doing what I do right now. But believe me, this is what I love. So I think I was supposed to reach here. And that is, I think, that is where my artworks have made me reach. And of course, geographically speaking, I never thought I would come to Kochi, but I did. I never thought my work would go Korea an exhibition. It did. Also, I never thought I would win an award. I won. I never thought. So, it's not me. But if I reach through my art also, I am happy with it.
So, have you connected with people in your life in a much deeper level because of your art, calligraphy? Yeah.
So, I I cannot say that in a deeper manner or anything, but I can give you a short story or a short incident about connecting with art. Like for example, me and Kamadakar ma'am met in Trivandrum. Okay, so we never met before. We never knew each other before. That was the first time we met. For me, this is special. Okay, we we met at the art gallery. We were looking at each other's paintings. And we never knew each other before, but we connected through the paintings because there were a lot of similar strokes, a lot of similar, similar feelings. The feel for the painting is similar. And when you connect through it, that this is the point, or this is the thing which is important, or this is how it works, then knowing about the background of the painting, there's a window. So your paintings are a window to your soul, and that is how you connect. So I think when that moment for me was special, connecting to Kama ma'am. So she is a very pleasant soul, and I really loved that moment of ours when we connected through painting. So this is just one incident, but you do connect to people with the paintings or with your artwork. Somebody comes and tells you that I can feel it, and that is where you won it. If somebody stands in front of your painting and says, yeah, I totally feel you. The person doesn't know what is in the painting, but if that person can feel it, I think you have won it.
Yes.
Right. So that is something I feel that your paintings do connect to people. Yeah.
So I have one more question for you, actually. So Narayana Bhattacharya sir had a lot of good things about you, to say about you. So, what is your memory with Narayana Bhattacharya sir?
Oh, Naren Vaziri sir. So the first time I think we met was in Mumbai itself. Suppose no Pune. Suppose I don't remember. But Narayan sir I absolutely adore that man. He is such a gem of a person. He has always been so kind to me. He respects my artwork, and that is what is most important for me. He respects what I do, and I absolutely love that personality of his. Memories with him are just yesterday. We had super fun in the in SH College. We were demonstrating there, and me and Naran sir had super fun there. Super. Like you can see my hand.
Yeah.
We squeezed the roller thing. And I said, "Sir, you go first." So like, no, you go first. And he said, "No, it's you supposed to go first." And he did. And he's like, continue down. And we were enjoying the process. And that was, I think, the first ever time me and Narayan Bhattatri sir connected. Now we're again going to the same thing, connecting with
Connecting
art.
with art, yes.
So we have that kind of a connection, me and Narayan sir, and we had super fun yesterday. If you would have been there, you would have had fun. Like, it was amazing.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So you are a guru, you are a teacher, right? So there are a lot of kids who, it's not just about calligraphy, just taking up art as career, and how the parents have this concern about, no, but what next? What are the options? How do you, so you are a teacher who teaches art. What do you want to tell our parents whose kids really want to pursue art, but they are confused about the future? What is that advice, a suggestion that you would like to give?
So there are multiple things, Now, nowadays we have this that we plan ahead. Everybody has a habit of planning ahead. Ki, today we do this, the next we do that. There now, if you look at our professions, there are a lot of engineers who are pursuing art now. So if you've done engineering, you're pursuing art. So there is again this same thing, right? What did you do next? So people who are willing to pursue art, you will always find your way through. And I'm sure about it, and I know it. There are a lot of options right now, say graphics, say all sorts of digital medias and stuff like that. There are a lot of things which you can work alongside with. So I think take a step forward, and then you can decide what to do next. And I think it's not a full stop, or it's not a stop there. Once you step into it, you can see the road further, right? So that is how it is. Because everybody has to map their own journey. I have mapped it another way. You have mapped your journey a different manner. So everybody will map their journey in their own separate ways. There are a lot of things which you can do, which you can pursue, which you can go forward to. So if parents want to research and go ahead, talk to people, research things, get to know more about art forms, get to know more about what
Possibilities, yeah.
What are the people doing, what are the possibilities that can be done, and then you can let your kids do it. And if your kid's heart is it in there, why not? Yeah, let them do it. Yeah, that is what I would say.
Yes. So thank you so much, Akshay. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you for your philosophy of life. It was a pleasure having you in our show.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.